Test. It's a clip on, so you can, there you go. I let the gents sit down and then off we go. All right, folks. All right. Welcome along to our tasting, which I know caused a lot of confusion because it is on a Wednesday. The amount of emails I got from people saying, like, is it on a Wednesday? What's wrong with the website? It says it's on a Wednesday, not a Thursday. We don't handle change here tonight. But unfortunately, we've got bourbons. I know it's the Irish Whiskey Society, but there is a very cool Irish connection that Mike Gilmore will be explaining to us later on. Unfortunately, Ali can't be here tonight. She's online. She's really the driving force behind this tasting. She tasted Mike's stuff at Whiskey Lab Dublin last year and said, we are doing a tasting with him. And so here we have him, Mike Gilmore. I won't go on much longer because, again, why do you want to listen to me? But I'm just going to say a big quick round of applause and a big thanks to Mike. He's off on his way to Cork Whiskey Fest, I think, tomorrow. But we have him here for the night, so a big round of applause.
All right. Thank you.
For the folks who are watching online, feel free to ask questions in the chat. We have people watching it. We will read them out and get them read back to you. For those who are watching this on the weekend, because you're not drinking on a Wednesday night, you can't ask questions. I'm sorry, but that's the breaks.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hello. Brilliant turnout. Thank you guys so much for coming and your interest in my crazy idea that I've had here. This has been a long time coming. It started at Whiskey Live Dublin last year, where I basically kind of launched the idea of the brand during that time. That's where I met Ali. Maybe some of you were there and actually tried some of the stuff when I was there. And so before we get into the fun stuff of tasting everything, I like to start with a little bit about my background. So I started in the industry about 20 years ago in the US in a very, very small liquor store in the state of Wyoming, where I bought a mountain town, not a lot of people, and just a basic store. During that time with that store, I started really getting into whiskeys and bourbons very early on. We've all been down that rabbit hole of bourbons and whiskeys, and I burrowed all the way down to the bottom of that thing. And that's where I fell in love with the whiskeys. I started going out to Kentucky and building relationships out there. And that's where I started actually picking casks and single casks for store exclusives for my store. Bringing those back, doing the exclusive. And then I started building a reputation around the country of people that really liked the barrel picks that I was doing. And that just kind of grew. So I like to say I was doing barrel picks in stores long before it was cool because I started so early with it. During that time, it just kind of branched in this following around the US. Over the last 3-4 years, I had some of my bourbon loyalists coming to me, and they were fatigued with bourbon and the allocated bottles, and it's $50, should be $50, but it's $200 in a store if you can even find it. And they were really getting turned off for that. I call it bourbon fatigue a little bit, and we all kind of, I think, understand that. And so they started bringing me spirits that were from around the world, unique things, Armagnacs, cognacs, Irish whiskeys, aged rums, that were very, very interesting to me. So I started seeing this fatigue in these guys, and they were actively looking for something different. And that's what kind of planted the seed for Roaming Road. And I thought I can do the same thing, travel the world, look for unique single casks, because that's all I do. I don't blend anything. Everything is single cask. And start looking for these unique products, bring that under Roaming Road, hence the name. I don't know where I'm going. I just kind of travel the world looking for unique things. And that started the Roaming Road on the US side. And I started importing all these products and releasing these single casks. And the whiskey groups have really started to gravitate towards that. Nobody's leaving whiskey or leaving bourbon. That's going to be their passion and their love, like me. But every once in a while, you want something different. And that's what these guys are starting to branch out to. So it's done very well in the US. That pivoted to when I was over here in Ireland. I was looking for Irish whiskey casks to send back to the US. And I was looking for something heavier and fuller in an Irish profile. I love Irish whiskey. I just wanted something fuller, basically for that whiskey class of people in the US. So I found some really, really interesting casks, 115 proof. I imported them back to the US. It was a really full Irish whiskey. They absolutely loved it. During that time I was over here, I started looking at bourbons and ryes around here, and I see Bulleits and Woodfords and all of the basic big Diageo, Brown-Forman stuff. And I thought, you know what, there's probably a little niche here I could do. Over all those years with the store, I've accumulated hundreds of casks of bourbon and ryes that I've had in Kentucky. I didn't know what I was going to do with them at the time, but that started to materialize. I started exporting those casks over to Ireland. Actually formed a company in Dublin for the international side of it. And then I got the idea of taking those. I wanted to bring the two whiskey cultures together. So it was important that I had the Kentucky heritage and the Irish whiskey heritage and bring those together somehow without losing the bourbons and rye whiskey as the base. So that's when I decided to put them in Irish whiskey casks here in Ireland, being very bourbon and rye whiskey centric and forward. But it added a nice little kind of finishing aspect to it that I really, really liked. And in my head, I thought it was going to work, and it did work. And so that's where I kind of launched that idea at Whiskey Live last year. I met some people from the U.S. Embassy, some security people that were just actually there for the whiskey show. They had no idea I was going to be there. And they loved it so much, the embassy reached out to me and invited me to the 4th of July celebration last year, where I actually poured for 2,000 people at the ambassador's residence here in Ireland. That was just a huge, huge boost for me. I basically launched in the stores in Dublin at the same time. And all that kicked off very quickly and all at the same time. So that was very helpful to me. I'm doing their event again this year, which is great. They love the Irish connection with the American product. And so it was just a perfect fit. We're talking about doing a cask exclusive for them this year. So we'll see how that plays out. But that's kind of the story of how I started. I was doing 50-year-old cognacs, Armagnacs, everything. If it's interesting in this world, I'm going to find it and I'm going to take it back and I'm going to bottle it and bring it to the people to try. And that's kind of the gist of the brand story. And so that's how I got here today. Roaming Road started about 2.5 years ago in the U.S. and it's been here about 8 months in Ireland. And it's done pretty well. So a lot of new stuff is coming behind these. This is coming to the end of this run here that we're going to try tonight. So I have access to a lot of different things from a lot of different distilleries. Maybe at the end, I'll give you a little teaser taste of what's coming down the line as the next batch releases. So anybody have any questions about anything, or shall we?
How far are you going? So you've done the big ones?
Yeah.
Although arguably rum is far. Are you looking at your other European whiskies?
I am actually. Yeah, I look at everything. If I hear about something that's kind of unique or different, there's a Japanese rice whiskey that I haven't explored yet, but it's on my list to look at. They've historically done them in terracotta pots for centuries. They've just now started actually putting them into wood barrels, probably Mizunara. And I thought that was interesting because they're kind of getting away from what they've used to do for centuries. I love wood aged a lot of things. And so that was interesting to me. So it's worth a try. So like I said, I mean, I'm looking at some Australia whiskey down there as well, which they're doing some really interesting things. So I have no limits on where I would look in the world. If it's interesting and I think that people will enjoy it, I will bring it. And like I said, everything is single cask, so you always have that exclusivity. It's not going to last very long, which I think is great because every cask is different. Every cask ages, influence is different. That's why I like it. You can pretty much blend any profile you want consistently, where I like to find that unique cask that gives something a little bit different, something unique. And that's what I like to bring. So right now I'm not blending anything. It's just all single cask, which that's my roots. That's what I know. So that's where I come from. So I'm going to keep doing that. No? Very good.
I like the factor in sampling.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay, so let's start with the fun stuff now. We get the boring stuff out of the way. The first one is a 7-year rye whiskey. This is actually an Indiana rye. This is quite unique. I like this one a lot. I call this a barely legal rye because it is 51% rye, 45% corn, and 4 malted barley. So the higher corn content kind of balances that rye out. So if somebody comes to me and says, I don't really like rye whiskey, it's because they got punched with a very tobacco-y, spicy type product in the past, and they think all rye is like that, much like Scotch sometimes. When people try a peated Scotch, they think that that's all Scotch. And so this one here actually has a higher corn content, so it balances that rye out very nicely. A lot of people don't actually think this is a rye whiskey, but it actually is. I find it very approachable. It's 59.8%. So everything I do is at cask strength as well. My philosophy has always been, if I drink it in the barrel itself, and that's how I choose everything, in the barrel itself, I want that to translate to the bottle. So I drink it out of the barrel. I don't proof it down, because then you start losing things that you loved in the barrel to begin with. So what's that? Okay, good. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in cask strength, so that's why I don't mess with it at all. If I love it in the barrel, I want it to go to the bottle. I don't want it to lose anything. I'm a fan of water, drops of water. I'm not a fan of ice cubes, because it just dilutes it down within 30 seconds, it's gone. But drops of water definitely open it up. Some of these really like water. Some of them are better on their own, and that's all for you guys to decide what your preference is. But you can't add profile back in your whiskey if you proof it down. But you can add drops of water to bring it to something that you really like.
You were talking about the fact that you were looking around the world, different casks and things that are unique. Are you also looking within the US? Because like you talked about Kentucky bourbon, Tennessee bourbon,
Yeah.
one is from Indiana. Are you also looking at states that normally would not produce bourbon, like maybe, I don't know, other in the deep south or maybe New Mexico or whatever?
Yeah, actually I am. That's kind of one of the teasers I was going to give earlier. I actually found some 14-year-old 4-grain bourbon in Georgia, which is now a defunct distillery. It's closed. So I have a few casks of that I found very interesting. So that's slated to come over here as well. So I'm always looking, even in the States and different places. I have a lot of connections because I've been in this industry a long time. So I'm always looking for something interesting.
It's really like caramelly and peppery and spicy. It's very spicy despite it being not really high in the rye.
Yeah.
But it has this really nice rich as it blends the caramel, sweet from the corn.
The higher corn brings that bourbon-esque notes of that caramels and vanillas and things that you get.
Finish.
Yeah.
Tastes like
This one likes water. Yeah, a few drops of water, it definitely opens it up and rounds it out. This is one that definitely likes water.
And is this from a specific distillery in Indiana, or can you not name these?
This one actually is from MGP. MGP is they've been around forever. They're well renowned in the U.S. They're a contract distiller. They're known for their rye whiskeys and such. All the new brands have usually kind of start with MGP. The problem is there's so many new brands every day. They start with a 4-year-old MGP, and now there's an MGP fatigue. So if it says distilled in Indiana, people generally stay away from it. Plus it's very young, but it's easy to get. They have lots of it, and it's pretty inexpensive. However, I have never bought anything from MGP directly. What I do is, if any MGP stock that I have in my stock, which is in Kentucky at Bardstown Bourbon Company, that's who I work with in the U.S. They do all my cask storage, they do my bottling in the U.S., and they handle everything, all my logistics over there. So I import all the casks to them, and so they store my hundreds of casks there with them. So anytime all my MGP that's in my stocks that I have, I've purchased through other distilleries that have gone to MGP and bought select stuff for their stuff. It's for their brand to release why theirs was aging. So new distilleries distilled their own stuff, but they have time. They have a window that they have to age their stock, so they use MGP stuff. So generally, I find much better stock that way, because those distilleries have already sourced those casks and hand-selected those. Then I come along and hand select from them. So it's a better quality of MGP juice than just going straight to MGP. So all the MGP juice that I have is from these distilleries that have sourced it on their own for their brands.
MGP don't release anything by themselves, do they?
They do. They bought Luxco just for that reason, because they were so behind on brands. So they bought Luxco.
Great Northern Distillery here.
Yes.
They kind of I think Tara has a bottle of whiskey, a rare bottle of whiskey from
Oh,
Great
yeah.
Northern Distillery. They supply all the new brands.
Okay.
But they did a little release and it was
Yeah, it's going up on Casper auctions soon, so just keep an eye out for it.
Ah.
I actually have 2 bottles.
Is,
7,000.
is that new for G&D? That's starting a brand that's under them?
Yeah, they only did it that one time.
Oh, just one time, okay.
Yeah, they didn't do it again.
Okay.
At the time, when they gave it to us, they gave it to us for free, and they said it was awful. So we resisted the urge
Yeah.
to crack it open, so I can't tell you otherwise, but I know it's going for a couple of hundred.
You mean it's great? We should all buy it.
Oh, you should see it.
Gotta be a free brawl.
The firstborn, that's what it's called. right?
Firstborn.
The firstborn.
They have 3 brands that they put in the shelf registered for themselves. And that was their one. That was the first draw.
If you're a distillery that's made your name on making whiskey for other people and helping brands, it's kind of hard to put out a label of your own because your brands are saying, well, you're going to compete with us now? There's a little double-edged sword there. Who's that? They have, yeah. They have. They bought Luxco, one, for distribution, because Luxco already had distribution in place, so that was their big motivation. But now they have brands under their name as well, so they felt like they were behind the curve of having brands out there.
And is Tennessee a bit like MGP? The guys who just control.
It is. That's exactly what they are. They're the Tennessee version of kind of MGP. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Very nice, very smooth.
Delicious.
Do you see kind of how it's more of an approachable rye a little bit because of that higher corn? It's got that sweetness up front, and then you get some kind of rye spice kind of balancing it out.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah.
what I was gonna say. It was also nice that you make that connection with peat, because there's actually like now in the new Irish whiskeys, there's more peat infused. Not so much
Yeah.
like the Islay peat, but like more in peat infused. And I
Right.
have a feeling that is the same with rye.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a learning. You have to relearn people because they've tried a rye that was very spicy and they think it's all like that.
Yeah.
So it's good to present them with something new and open their eyes back to rye.
If you haven't finished your first glass, I'd say don't finish it. Because the next whiskey is quite careful. And if you want to say where you get your Irish whiskey casks from,
I'm sorry?
where you get the Irish whiskey casks from.
Yeah, so all of the whiskeys on here that we have are Irish cask finish. It's one of my first relationships I built out here in Ireland, and I was actually buying Irish whiskey casks for the U.S. market before this idea even came to me, was Clonakilty Distillery. Michael Scully has been just so helpful to me. We formed a great relationship, a great partnership. All of my bourbon and rye casks come over to Ireland in casks because Michael asked for those. So Michael is getting first fill bourbon casks, rye whiskey casks that I've hand selected. So he knows the juice in it is very, very good. He gets those freshly dumped, wet casks. He gives me the freshest, best single malt Clonakilty Irish whiskey cask he has. And so that relationship has been very, very good. He gets my casks, I get the best of his, and it just helps both of our brands. He does my bottling for me here in Ireland, so he does all of that as well. I knew that was a great relationship because very early on, if you remember back, Clonakilty used to use this bottle. Back in the early days of Clonakilty, they had this bottle. During COVID, they had a hard time getting that during the supply chain, so they switched to their current bottle design now. And so when Michael picked that bottle up, because this looked familiar, I said, yeah, that's the bottle I use. I go, why, do you have them? He goes, yeah. How many do you have? 5,400. I go, I will take every single one of them. So they were already sitting in Clonakilty. Their bottling line was already set up for that bottle. Everything was there. He said, I'll sell them to you at cost. I have no need for them. So that's one of those things that falls into place that tells you you're on the right track. And so that's the story of the bottle. So yeah, 700 mLs was exactly what I needed. I didn't have to ship it in. It's all right there. So Clonakilty is who I work with, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. And they make a great product too. So me getting their best casks and them getting my best casks, it works for all of us.
And do you have a set time you like to put the bourbon to the rye into the Irish malt cask, or?
Every cask is different. They're gonna take different notes out of there at different times. Obviously in Ireland, the temperature is not like Kentucky where it's super hot in the summer and it's cold in the wintertime. It's more of a pretty even temperature, but you do have warmer months in the summertime. So the summertime is going to impart a little bit more flavor faster. I don't want to overpower the actual bourbon in the rye, so it needs to just accentuate it and finish and bring that nice Irish layer. That's what I like to call it, that finishing Irish layer to it. So some of them are 3 weeks. And that is one of these that has a higher malted mash bill to begin with. So that's obviously a shorter time. And then some were closer to 8 weeks. It just depends. So the cask kind of tells me some will impart faster, some will be a little bit slower. Just depends.
Weeks?
Yeah.
Just weeks?
Weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I check it frequently because I don't want it overdone. I don't want it too malty on the back. I don't want too much. I'm not trying to turn it into an Irish whiskey, but if you marriage them perfectly, they work very, very well together, which I think is something that nobody else has really tried to do.
It's just like a little bit of seasoning.
It's like a little seasoning on a great dish. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And like the tonic and barrels that you use they're ex-bourbon barrels that have the whiskey that's been in, or do you use barrels that have had other finishing? So basically, is it second fill bourbon barrels you're using as a finishing cask?
No, because I'm usually getting their best cask, which is their first fill stuff. Second fill stuff, sorry. Is that your question?
So yes, so
It'll be bourbon, then Irish, then Rolling Road.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
bourbon, Irish, and rum?
And then Rolling
Roaming Road.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
But all of the barrels, all of the Irish whiskey casks haven't had a finishing already.
Oh, so they're
Like
not
so we're not
sharing.
like you're using
No.
Clonakilty
No.
or finished barrels that then.
Absolutely not. I didn't want any part of that. I didn't want port or Oloroso or any of that influence. So these are all ex-bourbon casks to keep with the same theme of what my product is. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Which, as we all know, so a lot of these barrels are third and fourth fill that these Irish distilleries use. So because he's getting the best of the ex-bourbon casks, I'm getting the best of the Irish whiskey cask. So it's not third and fourth fill. So they impart faster that way as well, and they're wet. That's the other thing too. I'm not using a barrel broker somewhere where it takes a month to get here, and those casks are dried out, and they just take much longer to impart any flavors. So they're actually wet casks on both sides. Yeah. Okay, guys ready to move to number 2?
Ready?
Okay. I love this rye whiskey. This is a Kentucky rye whiskey. This comes from the Green River Distillery in Owensboro, Kentucky. This particular whiskey is actually O.Z. Tyler. O.Z. Tyler is the original distillery that Green River became, okay? Green River started in 1885, Green River Distilling. It's the 10th oldest distillery in Kentucky. Over the years, they've had different brands, different companies, they've sold different things. O.Z. Tyler took it over in 2016. O.Z. Tyler has kind of this cult following in the U.S. During that phase that they had it, they were making some really, really exceptional whiskeys. I love it. I love O.Z. Tyler stuff. This is O.Z. Tyler. And this one is a 95.5 rye. It is 95% rye, 5 malted barley. I love this one because it does not drink like a rye. It's very fruit forward, like dark fruit forward. It's 53%, 8 years old. Try that and you tell me what you think of this.
So I wouldn't have guessed that you would think about rye or something that's high.
Especially as the 95% rye. Yeah.
It doesn't have that overly orange. And also this 500.
Yes. Yeah.
How is that possible?
It's just the way that turned out. They're not all like that. That's why single cask is very unique. You can have 10 side by side and they will taste 10 different ways. You just got to find the right cask.
So are any of these on sale in whiskey shop or meat shop or?
I'm sorry?
Are any of these on sale in whiskey shops here?
Yeah, Celtic has them, Corkscrew has them, James J. Fox has them, Wine Online has them, Bradley's in Cork has them. There's some shops up north that has them. There's some hotels, restaurants that have them. All of those have home delivery, obviously, but you can pick them up at any of those shops. Yeah.
Okay, so there's an availability of your product.
Yeah,
around.
right here in Dublin.
Okay.
Yep. Several places right here in Dublin, actually. It is in the Corkscrew. Yep. Yeah, that is. It's a great store. They were an early partner and an early supporter of mine. So Corkscrew, I work very closely with. I've done tasting events there. I've done a rum event there. Yeah, absolutely. They have the full line of everything that I do there. Yeah. They actually have an exclusive cask, which we're going to get to on this tasting too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see the one. And do you taste yourself fully? You're explaining that in Kentucky, also in Tennessee, it can be very humid, very hot.
Yeah.
Do you taste that also in difference because the climate is different here in your product itself?
Yeah, it's a much slower aging and finishing type. Where Kentucky, that's why it's the best whiskey in the world, because of the conditions are so hot and humid. It really gets that barrel interaction throughout the seasons, because it has two very distinct seasons. Yeah.
It's quite like, not quite like you said, like that black tea that's like this nice herbal intense. Like not herbs, but like herbs cooked. So that
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that dried spice,
Definitely has some spices in it, but more of like baking spices rather than like a rye spice. They're more subtle.
It tastes a bit like when you make a cake and then you have the leftover and then you scoop that out.
Yeah. But the fruitiness is what I really like in that. That's what led me to it to begin with. It's got some mint in it as well. It's very faint on the back. It's some mint or wintergreen or... Did you get the mint after I said that? Yeah. Yeah, that's the herbal note.
It's quite a narrow taste.
Yeah.
Very rich.
Yeah.
Not actually as complex.
It's not. I think the corn adds a lot to that because you get different layers of stuff, where this is more rye.
I always associated rye with like Canadian whiskey. So like when people talk about rye in the past, it was always Canadian club, like the Canadian whiskey.
Yeah.
So I just associate with like
Would you add water?
Probably not. I think that one stands on its own. It's 53% too, so that one is one that I would not do water. You can definitely experiment and try it. Maybe that's something that you really like. I don't think it opens that one up as much as some of these other ones we're going to get to. Yeah. Yep. Of the two ryes, do we have an opinion?
The second one is for me a bit. I like the second one better. I mean, both are good, but for me, I have a preference for the second one.
Okay.
For me, it's much smoother,
Yeah.
Of the two ryes, number one, hands up. Ooh.
Oh.
Number two.
But they're different drinks.
Wow.
the second one gets you to winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what it's like?
Nice.
But I'm not a hater on the first one either. I just like.
Yeah. So different degrees of good. I'll take that. Yeah, it's more bourbon-esque. It's more caramel vanilla than fruit, where the second one is fruit. Yeah, dark fruit.
Just a quick question about like the fact that you have 5% multi-carbon. Is that literally, because we were just discussing here, is it literally just to get things going? Like, why you reach 5.5?
You can go lower, yeah, because the first one was 51% rye.
Lower 98,
Absolutely, you could go zero barley. I have 100% rye as well. Yeah, that were experimental rye. They're 100% rye. They're actually really good. You may actually see one of those over here. Yeah, you guys are. I'm throwing out secrets already. You know.
all of them probably would have been.
Yeah, depending. Yeah, it's much more rare in Kentucky to be 100%. Canadian rye. There's a lot of 100% rye, but in the U.S. in Kentucky, it's 95.5 is kind of the staple rye, and that malted barley just kind of adds a little bit to it. But I do some 100% rye that you may see over here, and it's you would think that is so spicy you can't even like drink it. It's very, very good. Yeah.
It's hard to make mash or 100% rye. Stuff mash.
What's that?
How do you avoid the stuff mash if you're making 100% rye?
Well, luckily, life doesn't have to.
Yeah, I was just going to say, in a nice way, that's not my problem. Yeah. That's a distillery problem. Yeah,
We had a distillery here last month, Jimmy, and worked a very small distillery, and he would say he'd be stirring the mash by hand and just be breaking pallets because it turns into like cement. Another one now.
Yeah, it's probably right. It's an experimental because they don't like doing it because of the cleanup for it. But yeah. Fortunately, that's not my problem. You guys want to move on? Number 3. So this is we're going to throw you a curve here. This I usually have in my bag. This is available throughout as well. This is a 19-year-old single cask strength Venezuela rum. This rum is actually finished in a Cotswold malt whiskey cask from England. This is usually in my bag, and historically, tasting events everywhere I've done from London to over here, this ends up being one of the hits of the night. Rum is not something that people think about grabbing off the shelf. I'm sure everyone in this room, that's probably their last thought of a choice of a rum. But this is something uniquely different. There's nothing in this but distillate, thyme, and wood. There's no sugars, there's no additives, there's no nothing. This is rum the way it's supposed to be consumed. It is not Captain Morgan's. It is not your tiki drink that you go on vacation in the Caribbean and have. This is uniquely different. It's going to be very cask forward. It's going to be a very easy step for whiskey bourbon drinkers. This is one of the first things that my customers were bringing to me going, you have to try this. And that's the more I tried, the more I thought, man, this stuff is really, really good. And so that started me on my search for aged rums around the world. They're distinctly different by regions. The 4 that I have here in Ireland are this 19-year-old Venezuela, a 19-year-old Haiti rum, a 14-year-old Trinidad rum, and a 10-year Guyana rum. All of these, I've actually done a rum tasting at the Corkscrew before. Everybody loves these things. So I threw this in this lineup as a kind of a bonus pour because I wanted you guys to experience this, because it's not something you would try on your own. So I have to force it in front of you and put it on your mat and make you try it.
Well, it is the 51st day.
What's that?
It is the 51st day.
Guyana. Yeah.
Haiti, Guyana, Venezuela. And
Trinidad. Yep. Yep.
I had a question about that. Because Haiti and Venezuela are not your typical secured countries. How do you stay in contact? How do you source those costs?
I have many different sources. Some are brokers from different places in the world. So the casks were already removed from those places, and I've taken them from other places. Yeah. Yep.
So you're not going to them?
No. I stay away from like dangerous countries, and I look for things in different areas.
Because I'm familiar with Venezuelan rum. My father is from Chile.
Yeah.
So in Chile, they have a lot of Venezuelan.
Yeah.
Diplomatico and all that.
Yeah, Diplomatico's heavily sugared, heavily colored. That's why there's no age statement on it. This is all natural color, and you can see how beautiful the color is.
So this is 100% sugarcane.
Yes.
It doesn't have that sort of grassy agricole.
No, it's not an agricole. It's a molasses base. So the molasses base is going to do 100% sugarcane, but that's converted to molasses. That's where absolutely, most rums are molasses based from 100% sugarcane. Your other, like your agricole style, are actual sugar cane. These are actually converted to molasses, which is most rums. So if you notice on this and the color of this is all due to the cask itself. Diplomatico is another one that's kind of considered a premium because they have a lot of money backing them with Diageo. But Diplomatico, there's no age statement on Diplomatico, and it's super dark and it's super sweet because it's got sugar and it's got coloring in it. So if you see something super dark and there's no age statement on it, they've got coloring in it. This is all natural from the cask. This is nothing but cask influence. What do you?
A heathen question, right? Because I'm a completely ordering you to rum, right?
Yeah.
I've only ever had the B word rum, right?
Yeah.
What range does this even retail at? So
This sells for 115 euro, 115. And it's a 19-year-old single cask strength. So value-wise, if you think about these spirits as well, you need to consider that. You'll never find a whiskey, especially a bourbon or a rye, at 19 years that's going to be remotely close to
I
that.
thought you were going to say twice.
Yeah. No. What's that?
Is that just a volume thing?
No, it's just the actual price point itself is much lower because of the areas that I get these from. The Trinidad rum's under 100 euro, and that's.
Don't expect continental aging as well.
What's that?
Don't expect continental aging because like a 19-year-old rum with evaporation in the Caribbean.
Oh, Caribbean is gone, right?
Yeah. So the aging on this particular rum has 14 years at origin, which means it's 14 years in Venezuela, and it has 5 years continental. So they actually move it from Venezuela over here to the UK. And that 5 years actually slows things down and allows that spirit to actually meld in the cask instead of getting hammered every single year from the hot temperatures of the Caribbeans. I like continental aging. I think it adds a layer. I like to start at origin, but the continental actually kind of slows it down a little bit and just kind of lets it mellow in the cask itself. This one is really, really good, I think. What's your initial thoughts on this? And I'd be curious to know the rum experience as well.
I sat in the hop. Sorry, we were in Isla Morada,
Yeah?
and we went into an off license, and we said we wanted a rum that we could drink in the hot tub that tasted like whiskey.
Okay.
And she gave us a bottle of Ernest Hemingway heritage rum
Okay.
from Key West.
Yeah.
And this brings me back to the same memories of that. Which
Okay.
is just really, really, really nice.
Okay, good. This is exactly the market that I'm after with this. This is when you open your cabinet and you go. This is when you open that cabinet and you go, God, I want something different. Instead of just a variety of whiskeys that you have, this is your go-to different. This is it right here. If you guys are cigar smokers, this is sublime with a cigar. Any of the rum stuff is really, really good with cigars. Yeah, that's a cane juice rum. That's not molasses. It's a little bit lighter. It's still 19 years old, but it doesn't have the molasses type base that you get. Whiskey drinkers tend to gravitate to this. I love the Haiti too because it's more fruit forward, and it's more delicate. So yeah, this is a column still. Yeah. Have you had the other lines of the rums? No, just the Haiti?
Derek was supposed to come to that last tasting, but
Okay,
couldn't make it. So
Okay.
I got the Haitian one.
good, good. Oh, that's where you tried it. Okay.
It was very tender.
If you notice, the kind of the rum profile is on the front and palate, and then it kind of fades more to a whiskey finish. I think that's where the Cotswold cask kind of comes in a little bit. So it's a little bit of a ride on your palate as you taste it.
And this is
It's got a long finish too. Yeah.
and this is in a distillery in the Cotswolds.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. And this is in a distillery in the Cotswolds itself, like a
The Cotswold distillery. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Has anybody had rum like this before, outside of the mainstream stuff? No? Okay.
The Guyana one
Right.
is actually very different.
It is. Yeah. That's a pot still.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost more what a whiskey drink.
It is.
Right. It's almost so diverse.
Yeah. It's very diverse. Yeah.
There's a lot of craft in it as well.
There is.
Because there are no rules.
Yeah. But you can see how that's an easy step for whiskey drinkers is to go to something like that. Yeah. Very good.
So are there any more rums in the pipeline?
Many more. Yeah, from different regions, different places. These are about cycled through, so there'll be a new batch coming in. Yep.
Have you gone further afield, like Clarence and Kachakas?
Say that again.
Have you looked at Clarence and Kachakas?
Yeah, I have access to all of that as well. I haven't quite found one that I like yet to actually bring it, but I do like the Kasashas and things like that. So that's definitely coming. I keep trying those. I just haven't found the right cask yet. So, you know, I will literally go through, I'll sample 30 casks to pick 3. I'm very picky about what I select. I don't buy stuff just to have something to sell. So it's... I've heard that a little bit, yeah. Yeah, that they... I do it over a period of time. I feel that I can do about 15. I've been doing this a long time, so most people can't do 15 cask strength spirits and have a pallet left. So about 15 is kind of my max, and then I usually break it up over days. If there's a big batch of stuff I need to go through, and then I just keep trying until something really, really jumps out at me. I think it's a difference between being a passion project brand and a brand that's just pumping out stuff to sell. And single cast, that's not the way to be a millionaire is single cast stuff. It's more boutique-y. But it's what I know, it's what I love. That's why I like doing it. So I'm going to continue to do it. But yeah, I enjoy the single cask. And like I said, I'm picky. So I'll try 30 and I might buy 3 out of that 30. What's that?
You just went to a warehouse and picked torch cuts.
Yeah. I'll line it up ahead of time. Yeah, and I'll line it up ahead of time for like regions and products and you know where I want the rum to come from, and then I'll actually start sampling that way, and then some make the cut and some don't.
Would you pass the bomb?
Yeah.
And I had a question, like now you
We see there's still got after that.
so like
Yeah.
yeah, so like you're talking about the rum. Is the transfer to for instance cachaça casks? Is that one that you are willing to make? Because like I had one with Mad Hot Madness, like an Amborana cask, which came from the cachaça. Is it then easy to make that jump? Let's say, okay, you win rum, you also want to go to Brazil and everything.
You have to be very careful, especially with Amborana, because it's so overpowering. I'm not a huge fan of Amborana casks, just because it just completely overpowers the spirit itself. So the finishing cask, if it does go into something, I'm very picky about that as well. It needs to work in my mind, and fortunately I have profiles in my mind of a lot of different spirits. So I kind of have an idea what cask or what spirit would work with this spirit,
Yeah.
and I kind of recast by that, if I recast it all.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mike, sorry.
Yeah.
Heathen rum drinker number, question number 2. Is this your... Okay, what was the reason for bringing this one over the others? You've got it. Is this your pride and joy? Is this your...
It resonates with all the tasting events that I do, and nobody knows it's coming ever. This one was actually pre-advertised. It's usually under the table, and I'll throw it out during the tasting as a bonus pour. But it's been so well received. That's the big thing, is that people are surprised by it. So I thought this was very easy step for whiskey drinkers. So that's why I selected that one. But the Trinidad is in the very, very same realm as this, and so is the Haiti, actually.
I never had a Guyana rum. I had the other three,
Yeah.
Haitian and Trinidad. Trinidad is actually pretty, I wouldn't say common, but it's up there.
Yeah.
But Guyana, I've never
It's open at the Corkscrew. You can sample it.
Yeah.
Yep. You can sample all the rums at the Corkscrew. You can sample anything at the Corkscrew, because I have open bottles there of everything.
My son was in there before Christmas. He's down on the ground. The Japanese one was a pretty good bottle.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was hidden behind the barrel.
Yeah, nice. Okay, any questions on the rum? Good. We're gonna take the break. Okay.
So we're just going to take a quick break of 10-ish minutes. So you need to go to the restroom, come back at 1:30, and we'll kick off with a deconstruction of different bourbons.
That rum was very nice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Just so that way you're not mic'd. You know what I'm hoping for, yeah? You're looking, eroding.
There you go.
Oh no, I'm...
Jack up.
Mike.
It's time for the second half, which is going to be a very interesting deconstruction of different bourbons with different mash bills and an exclusive you can only get at one of the stores, which of course we'll be talking about. But again, let's hand it back to Mike.
All right. Okay, on to the bourbons now. The first one, it's a 6-year-old bourbon. The mash bill is 78% corn, 13% rye, and 9 malted barley. So this has got a higher corn content. It's pushing 80% on a bourbon. So you're going to get that very traditional, classic bourbon notes up front. It's got that caramels, vanillas, the wood interaction. It's that classic bourbon profile. It is, yeah. It drinks and smells a lot older than it is. I suspect this was on a higher floor in the rick house itself. This one's 59.8%. It's interesting compared to the next one, as we'll see as we contrast. But this one actually, it's got the rye spice comes at the very back, and especially something for being very low in rye. 78, 13, 9.
It's on the website as well.
Where is this from?
I'm sorry?
Where is this from?
That one is OZ Tyler.
Also the same place as one of the...
Yep. I like that batch of stuff that came out of that distillery so much. There's actually 3 in this lineup.
So details in advance, which go with water.
Is this one going to be
That one likes water. Yeah. Well, I don't like to put like ideas in people's mind. I let them decide, you know, if the water or the proof or something that they like to be at.
Because that has that kind of classic bourbon taste.
It does. It's a classic bourbon profile. All the sweetness is up front, and that's that high corn content that you're getting. But it's got a nice rye spice at the back of it.
Is that OC Tyler? Because I'm getting a surfer dude.
OZ. OZ, as in zebra.
I like OZ.
Yeah.
ChatGPT fix it.
Oh yeah.
You got it.
He's not a- no longer-
That's just what your normal search
It actually does. I've heard that in actually the tasting in London that I did, that the drops of water actually brought out more spice in it.
It slightly reduces the sweetness.
That's exactly what they said, is it kind of reversed the sweetness. It lowered the sweetness and brought the spices up after water.
It's actually much better with the water.
You like it better with the water? Okay.
I think it's just too dangerous water.
It's kind of like peanut friendly, one of those caramelized peanuts, so like really roasted.
Yeah.
Really sugary.
Yeah.
Caramel, like the almost burnt. You know, it's getting to that brightness.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of that classic bourbon profile.
And would any of your products that you have here, I mean, it's always a little bit sacrilegious to talk about it, but would they all be good for cocktails, for instance, or like old fashions, or do you say, okay, certain things?
We can no longer be friends if you put that in a cocktail.
No. I'm asking like it's more like a kind of like, is it better to drink this in your opinion, to drink this neat?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just like that in a Glencairn glass, whiskey glass, your favorite, something that noses very well.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing is intended for cocktails that I do.
Okay.
Yep. And I was just teasing, by the way. We'll still be friends.
No, but I mean, like some people say they have whiskeys that, like I know with Irish whiskey, some they say, okay, this is particular for a cocktail.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe you
A good old fashioned, a good rye for an old fashioned or something. Yeah. Yep. You came in late. What's your name?
Teresa.
Teresa. Nice to meet
Nice to meet
you.
you.
You're Jack's friend?
Yes.
Good. Glad you made it.
Yeah, thank you.
She's here. Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. Thanks for telling me.
I think it was obvious.
That is just lovely. It's a bit like it's like chewy, just sit with it, just kind of like enjoy.
Yeah, it's got a good mouthfeel. It's got a nice long finish. Stays with you, which is one of the things I look for. You guys have thoughts on that? What's your feedback?
Like roasted nuts, like I taste a lot of like these, for instance, macadamia nuts, you know, that
Yeah.
you eat.
Yeah.
So that taste.
Good.
Yeah, like I said, like the other ones also said it. I think it's better with like a few drops of water to let the taste get
So,
out.
yep.
I like it also neat, just without water. So I think for me, you can drink it both ways. But I understand that when people find the taste a little bit too harsh, they
Yeah.
put a few drops.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. Guys? You liked it with the water? Okay.
And like for instance, food pairings, would this also be nice, for instance, if you eat dark chocolate or
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dark chocolate's a good choice,
Yeah,
actually.
because I like with my bourbon, when I drink my bourbon, because I'm a bourbon connoisseur,
Yeah.
I like bourbon. Like I like to eat dark chocolate because it combines two nice flavors.
Right, right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So not as good as your first two.
He's 3 cask strength in.
Wait, which one? What are you comparing it to? What are you comparing it to?
The rise.
Well, those are two different spirits entirely.
In my head, Maker's Mark 46, Eagle Rare, with reserve, with more to my taste. I think to me personally.
There's 3 more.
Blended, lower proof.
Is it the fact that it's high proof?
It's very high.
I think
It's very high.
Because the chocolate stuff is 46.
Yeah, yeah,
Eagle Rare. You can mix Eagle Rare with Coke.
yeah. It is.
This was making a mean product.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, yeah. Eagle Rare's a lot of hype. Yeah.
But it's €40 bottle, like you get it cheap.
If you can find it priced correctly.
Yeah, well, I got it.
That's the other thing.
That's much nicer when you add a glass towards the end.
Yeah.
It mellows.
Oh, as it sits. Yeah, yeah.
Whatever you do, don't put them on the next one.
Why not? It's the end of the beer.
Any thoughts on that, right?
We concur with our.
You don't even know how you
Well, there's 3 more.
3 more.
Guys ready to go to the next one? Okay. So the next one, 6-year-old bourbon. This is a 70 corn, 18 rye, and 12 malted barley. This ABV is 61.5. To me, I think you'll find that it doesn't quite drink that weight. It drinks much less than that. Entirely different profile. This is almost going to be more fruit forward on this itself. You can actually get it on the nose too. So it will be an entirely different profile than the one you just tried.
Where's this from? Is this
This is Green River, actually, I believe.
Is that the same as?
It is, yeah.
I find this much smoother, to be honest, even though it's higher.
It's a higher proof
Yeah.
and it drinks lighter.
Yeah.
It's more fruit forward. It's not as kind of sweet bourbon-esque up front. Yeah, that's the mash bill difference. So you can see how much variety you have in bourbons by mash bill. What's that? Yeah, yeah. I think that one likes water too, if I remember right. Yeah, yeah. But that drinks really well on its own.
I can drink this neat.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It drinks well below its weight. Yeah, yeah. What's that?
We had stuff for Belfast already used on the H night. Stuff that was 61.6%. Holy shit, I couldn't put it in the car. I would have probably never known. Holy shit, this is not fall off.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it funny how you can get a spirit that's a single cask drink at 61 and it drinks like it's 55 or something? Yeah. 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 But it doesn't destroy your palate. It's a nice drink. It's a warming drink.
What happened if you had another 4 years and made it a 10-year-old?
It would be good too.
Why 6 years? I wasn't interested in that.
I don't look at years at all. So when I actually pick my casks, I don't want to know anything about them. So when I actually pick the casks, I don't know the years, I don't know the mash bills, I don't know anything. It is strictly about the juice. It's all taste. It's all about the taste in the cask. So
Every year.
yeah, I taste them all the time. Yeah, yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people say, well, which is the oldest? And they get this stuck in their mind. Yeah.
Do you ever do on cruise ships?
I'm sorry?
Do you ever do talks on cruise ships?
I don't. I had a company in Miami actually reach out to me for cruise ship line type thing, but I haven't explored that enough. Time's a commodity. It's difficult for me sometimes because I travel so much. So I'm just kind of prioritizing markets and where I want to go. There is. There's definitely a market there. It's just a matter of, it's a matter of timing of when I should do that and go into something like that. But you're right. It's a built-in group of customer base right there. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that won't be difficult. It's not heavy or nothing.
So you mentioned age. What would be your ideal age for a bourbon?
There is no ideal age. The cask will tell me when it's an ideal bourbon. Hit the glass. Sorry, I'm just gonna. One question we had over here was why 6 year, and I explained that when I pick my casks, I don't want to know anything about them. I don't want to know their age. I don't want to know the mash bills. I don't want to know anything. So I actually pick based on the spirits itself. So I don't go going, hey, I want an 8 year bourbon. I want a 7 year. I want this, because I think you pigeonhole yourself going that route. The cask will tell me what's the best cask. Age is just a number. It means absolutely nothing. You could have some 25-year-old thing that's 10 times the cost, and it's not as good as a 7-year-old whiskey. I think people get too focused on numbers on the bottles, and that's not how I pick my stuff. So the cask tells me what's the best spirit. I don't care. I don't care what the age is. And so that's kind of the answer to the question. Why 6 year? Well, because that one would happen to be the best cask. I'm sorry?
Do you go in blind assessing cask, not knowing what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've been doing it for so long, I have this profile and in my head. I've also had the ability to taste thousands of people on different spirits, and I get their feedback. That's why I ask you guys. It helps me, and it all stays up here in my head of all these profiles that masses like, what niche people like, and I kind of pull from that. I draw from that. So depending on what I want to bring to market, I have this database in my head that I just refer to and kind of pull profiles based on what I want to bring to market for that specific product.
So you go like, I may not particularly like this, but I know there's an audience for this.
That happens a lot. Or I love this, but it's not going to translate. Yeah, I would be like, I'll buy this and drink this all day long, but it won't translate to what I'm trying to do with it. So that happens a lot as well.
I think there's someone asking a question.
Yes, sir.
You just answered the question I was going to ask. I was going to ask whether, when you selected casks for particular types of maybe grades that are going into it, would you said no, would you look at the casks blind?
If I don't know what it is, I don't have predetermined thoughts. I'm going, well, this 10-year-old has to be better than this 6. And if I don't know none of that stuff, it is strictly about the spirit. And that's what's important to me. It's not the number.
More about the mash bills and the grades that go into the different types of grades.
Yeah.
That you want to look for.
Oh, so like, do you go in like going, I want wheated bourbons, or or do you just go in blind and say, what have you got?
If I'm looking for something in a pipeline like a wheated bourbon or a rye whiskey, then I will narrow it down to different mash bills of a wheated bourbon. But I don't know what they are when I try them. So if I'm trying to fill a need, then yes, I would kind of take it down to like a wheated bourbon, but there's many different wheated mash bills. And that's what I don't want to know. I just pick the best spirit out of that if I'm filling a need of the pipeline of what I'm trying to do. No, I don't do it blindfolded.
You're the first person I've ever heard say that they weren't interested in years. That's amazing.
I think it makes sense, really. I mean, you don't focus it. It's just a number on the bottle. It means nothing. Yeah.
Like a 6-year in Kentucky is going to be more like 10 or 12.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Summer's winter is getting hotter now.
Yeah. The barrel interaction that you have in Kentucky is why that's the best maturing place to have spirits. Yeah.
So when you say need, you mean what salt frequency you want to have kind of hoop down?
Yeah, if it's something I want to bring to market, or I need another weeded, or I'm getting low on weededs, I'll do that. And so that's what I mean by need. If it's something that I need to bring back to market that did very well, and I'm getting low on stock, so I'll look for it that way. Yeah. Yeah.
When you buy a barrel, it goes straight to or you keep it for extra maturation?
It depends. Sometimes it sits in my inventory. I have hundreds of barrels, and so sometimes it sits in my inventory, or sometimes it's really good, and I loved it when I tried it, so it's going to go straight to bottling because I don't want it to change. If it's something I really, really liked, I'll send it to bottling, or at the very least take it out of wood until I'm ready to bottle it, so it doesn't change. And some stuff is pipeline. I'm always looking ahead, so I have different ages of different products. It just depends. So if it's ready to go, I'll get it out of the wood and get it to bottling right away.
So you talked about your bottling with Clonakilty. Is there like a limit that they tell you, okay, amount of bottles that you can do, or is there no limit? That says,
No,
okay.
no.
No, but I mean, maybe there's like a limit because like you're coming in on like an extra line from the normal production. Is there there's no limit that they say, okay?
I can't just call them up and say I'm going to bottle tomorrow.
Okay.
It doesn't work like that because they have their products they're bottling line. So we coordinate ahead of time, and then we set a date that I can get squeezed in there, and that's how we do it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll just ask a question. Sour mash, have you any kind of opinions on sour mash, or have you tried one of your own?
I like sour mash. I think I have some in my inventory that I have not put out, but I'm a proponent of it. I think it's a good thing. There's a lot of rum producers that actually use something similar to a sour mash. Jamaica is known for that. They have what they call muck pits that they actually take a batch of and put it in the next distillate, which is very similar to a sour mash. So I do like sour mash a lot. I just have not released one yet, but like I said, I'm always bringing something new and different, so you may see one of those as well in the future. Yeah. Are you a fan of sour mash? Is that why you're asking? Okay. Yeah. Yep. So what was the thoughts on that one? Okay.
It does not like water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a unfortunately didn't show up, and we took that sacrifice and we added water to it at different levels. And yeah, the lower alcohol, the worse it got. It is, as you said, perfect out of the barrel.
As it is, yeah. I think that was correct on that. I tend to believe that's not one that likes water. The last one does like water. So yeah.
That's one of the light for me.
Yeah, that one's very good. Very good.
Available.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's better.
Everybody's,
Okay, what does that retail at when we all go out to buy this tomorrow morning? What do we?
that one right there, one is 95.
Okay.
What's the previous one?
95, that's better.
The previous one was 99. Yeah. All of the bourbons are under €100. Yep.
When you're tasting barrels, is there a minimum age that you apply?
No,
He doesn't know.
no, I don't.
One day old barrel.
Technically, yes. If it just completely shocks me, it's never happened. But if it shocks me and it's just wonderful, it's got to be 2 years old to be a bourbon. So it would have to be after that at least. But no, I really don't place a lot of stock on ages itself or go in looking for an age. I think it's more important to just pick the best liquid. And that's kind of what I base it on.
So your methodology, when you say you pick a distillery that you want a type of spirit, or because let's say distillery has like thousands of barrels.
Yeah.
How do you narrow down your choice, because you can't try it all? So you contact the distillery saying, I want what?
Generally, I will just tell them that I would like, I'm looking for a bourbon whiskey, and I want different mash bills, and they will kind of just pick and choose different mash bills for me. And then I select from that, because then again, it keeps, the less I know, the better, because then it's more about the spirit. And so that's kind of how, a lot of times how I do it. Or weededs are the same way. I said, look, I need a weeded bourbon, so give me a lineup with different mash bills of weededs, and which we're going to get into next. But yeah, that's kind of how I approach that, depending on what I'm looking for.
So
Yeah.
you got an idea in your head,
Yeah.
what you want to bring to the market.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
So what's a wheated bourbon?
Wheated bourbon has no rye. It's replaced with wheat.
Is that a common thing? Is that a common thing?
It is.
What would be the well-known brands?
Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark's a wheated bourbon. Pappy Van Winkle's a wheated bourbon. It is common in the U.S. There's quite a few wheated bourbons, actually. So I guess we're onto the wheated now. Okay. So this wheated bourbon is actually Bardstown Bourbon Company. And this is a 70% corn, 0% rye, 21% wheat, and 9 malted barley. So the rye is replaced with the wheat. The wheat's going to give you more of kind of a smoother mouthfeel itself, a creamier mouthfeel it's going to give. It will be more of kind of baked spices, baked goods, biscuity, malty, kind of all of those.
If anyone had ginger nuts,
Yeah.
like that kind of like.
I was thinking about that
ginger,
too.
crystallized ginger, caramelized. Yeah.
Ginger cookies.
Yes.
But still, for me, and that's weird because I found this one, the 61.5, much smoother than this one.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's weird because like this is like
It's a lower ABV. Yeah. But if you notice on the wheated, the viscosity is going to be thicker, so it's going to coat your mouth more, and it actually stays a little bit longer. And you get no rice spice in it.
Although it feels like there's some spice. I mean, it's for a less educated drinker.
Yeah. Could be ABV. A lot of times spice and ABV is kind of misinterpreted a little bit, where people think spice is higher proof and vice versa.
Yeah, that does taste like a better weather.
Yeah.
which is the standard.
Right. Weller's a weeded as well. Yeah.
No, sorry.
So where does wheat come from? The history of bourbon started using wheat.
That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure who the first brand was that actually started with a weeded brand. It goes way back, but I don't know.
Are there any bourbons that have wheat and rye?
Yeah, I think there's some 4 grains that would have that.
So it'll be a 4 grain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's not just like a straight one fruit swap.
No.
It's
No.
Because wheat would have been more expensive grain of all the things. Yes, that's what
I believe this is a red wheat, which brings us a Maker's Mark uses red wheat, and that's a kind of a smoother, sweeter profile a little bit on the wheat itself. Sorry, I keep moving around. I told you I'm going to start roaming.
Like from Roman.
Thoughts on the weeded?
Thoughts on the wheated versus the regular bourbon?
I think it doesn't first of all coming after number 6.
Thumbs up back there. You like the weeded?
Thumbs up, though. We got.
Okay.
I mean, I like it, but for me, still the previous one was the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the rye in combination with the corn,
Yeah.
and it's the same. Like I had a few rye, also like Scotch whiskey, like Jura, for instance, but they put it in an American rye cask, and I found it very smooth and very nice to drink. You know, so I like the combination of rye and corn, even though the rye here is only 20%.
Yeah.
And that's also like why I like the first two. That's also. I love the second one with the rye, the 95%.
Yeah. Okay.
How popular is wheat in America?
It's pretty popular. Yeah, absolutely. It's probably more popular there than anywhere else. I don't see a lot of weeded bourbons outside of the U.S., or at least that's the popularity part of it. But people are over here, they're actually gravitating towards this. They do like it.
We were talking about, there's one distillery in Ireland in particular called West Cork Distillery.
Yeah.
That did an experiment recently with, well, recently, 10 years ago, with wheated mash bills.
Okay.
To add wheat to some of their whiskey. And it wasn't well received.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that might just been the way they used it, the way they aged it, but it wasn't really well received. So it's interesting to hear that, like in America, it's like wheated bourbon. Yes, please.
Yeah, right.
But it is a distinct profile change.
It is for sure. Yeah.
It smooths out some of the sweetness you get from certain formats.
Yeah.
But maybe I think it's meant to make a bit dry and
It is a little drier. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but bourbon in itself, whiskey is not for everybody. Like my sister, she loves Irish whiskey, she loves Scotch, but she hates bourbon. She doesn't drink any bourbon. And I love bourbon. Like I love the sweetness and everything. But then again, like what I told Mike, like I really love that combination of rye with corn, you know. So.
But what's fascinating is these 3 whiskeys are so different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, they are completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's that was a big takeaway I wanted everybody to take tonight, that all bourbon does not taste the same. And that varies, the variety varies immensely by mash bill, of how the different profiles actually affect the taste.
Just like the definition of bourbon, obviously it has to be distilled in the States and aged in the States, but obviously not bottled in the States. You're saying it's bottled in Cork.
Right. It's not like a Scotch where Scotch has to be bottled in Scotland. They don't have the bottling requirements there. So this is all aged, matured, distilled, everything in Kentucky. So it's Kentucky bourbon, but we don't have bottling requirements that has to be bottled in the
This
state.
couldn't be sold as bourbon in the US, could it?
What's that?
This couldn't be sold as bourbon in the US. If it's finished.
Technically,
Would you go to jail for that, Mike?
it's a finishing cask aspect of it, because there's finishing cask bourbons everywhere, and we all know that. So it would depend. I think one of the issues might be because it's finished here and not finished there. But for this aspect of it, it's actually Kentucky bourbon because it was born, bred, distilled, everything. I'm just finishing it in the Irish cask.
Because
Yeah.
we had a discussion, like, because bourbon is actually a protected, like champagne, it's a protected.
Yeah. Yeah,
to protect
yeah.
your brand.
And actually, I could do it because it would be a TTB requirement on the label. The label will have to be a little bit different, but you could actually do
But
it. Yeah.
would you be required to say, okay, it's bottled in Ireland or like it's finished in Irish?
Yeah, you have to disclose that on the
Okay,
label
okay,
itself.
okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like champagne, for instance, these things like in European regulations, they can only be called champagne if they are like,
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And I've been in bourbon for 20 years, so the big thing was I'm not going to do a bourbon in the U.S. I don't want to be a bourbon brand in the U.S., but I'll bring Irish whiskey to the U.S. and I'll bring bourbon over here and I'll cross them across the ocean because that makes more sense to me. I would never do an Irish whiskey in Ireland. That's not what I do. I don't want to even get into that.
So that then begs the obvious question. Imagine this is the American Whiskey Society, and you're showing off Irish whiskies. Is there any brand in Ireland? Not showing any favour to anyone who's here from a distillery. Is there any brand that you would say, they're my baby? The same way you have the OZ Tyler.
Yeah.
That you have.
Other than Clonakilty.
Putting Mike on the spot.
I do like a lot of Irish whiskeys, and I source from a lot of places for the U.S. I do have some 20-plus-year-old Bushmills that's going to the U.S. I'm a fan of the spots, especially the higher proof stuff, the blue spot. I like all of those. I think that's probably my best answer.
Very good man.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Next question. I work with a lot of people here, so.
So, wheated bourbons are a big thing in the States.
Mhm.
Yeah. You've put one in the selection. Why?
Because it's been popular here as well, as I've been tasting it throughout.
Saying why not more?
You say 1 or 2 or 3 or.
Instead of 1 or 2 or 3?
I think when I say it's a big thing in the States, it is popular in the US, but it's, if you go into a liquor store, half of it isn't going to be wheated bourbons. It is
Correct, but there's a lot of brands that are wheated bourbons that most people don't even know, like Maker's Mark, you know. So there's a lot of appeal to it there. When I brought these out here, this was my inaugural release here in Ireland. So I wanted a range of profiles, which is why you have distinctly different, the 4 we've gone through, or the 3 we've done so far, and we're gonna have a 4th one. They're all distinctly different. And that's what I wanted to bring to show the range that all bourbon does not taste the same. And they are distinctly different by mash bill, so you can hone in on your profile of what you like. And being single cask, you can never duplicate these. So even if I come out and have the same mash bill with a new cask coming out, it will taste different because you cannot duplicate a single cask, which is what I like. I like the fact that everyone is uniquely different. Okay. And so the next batch of stuff will be entirely different of stuff that's coming, different distilleries, different sources, different places that you have to look forward to. And you know that they're going to be uniquely different. So that was the whole thing. I didn't want to bring 3 wheateds or 3 bourbons and no rye. I wanted a nice range of stuff to show the versatility of the spirit itself.
Cool. That's really when you sleep well after that.
Yeah.
It sits great afterwards.
It does sit great. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yep.
Cork through at the moment, 2 6-year-olds, but they're not the same as this.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Yeah, they're different mash bills. Yeah, the 2 that are there. Yeah, you'll have to go to the description, I think.
64.
Yeah, because the picture they used was an old rendering. But yeah.
I think one of them is the same, at least, because I remember reading up on them, I was getting the details for the map, and one of them had like 78 chords. I think one of them is the same, but one of them is different.
The renders they're using is wrong. It's an old rendering that was from the very beginning. So if you go in with that information right there, you'll get the exact same products. Yeah, and they'll know which ones that is. Yeah.
I wanted to.
And speaking of the corkscrew.
Speaking of corkscrew.
Yeah.
So we're going to move to the last one. If you guys aren't there already.
said you're a great bloke.
Oh,
He texted me back and he said he's a top bloke.
who said that? Oh, Paul did? Okay, nice. So speaking of the corkscrew, they were one of my biggest supporters early on when I came out here. I sampled them on a lot of different things. This cask here is exclusive to the corkscrew. They loved it so much, they didn't want anybody else to have it, so it is nowhere else to be found. It is only at the corkscrew. So this is a 10-year-old Indiana bourbon. This mash bill is 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4 malted barley. Comes in right around 56%.
So if it's Indiana, it's MGP from.
This is MGP that I purchased at a different distillery that was sourcing it before, yes.
Mike, is this still under 100 euro or is this like a little bit over the 100?
It is still under 100 euro.
So Mike, what made them like this so much?
Try it and you tell me.
Did they say that this is it's spicy or it's
What is it that they said?
They were just excited about it in general. I couldn't tell you exactly what they say or why they said it, but they all tried it. They all loved it in different ways, and that was the standout to them. It's got a really nice nose. It's got a very floral kind of nose onto it. There's some kind of dark fruits in there as well.
It's got a high corn content, right? And that was
Higher, 75% corn.
sorry, high from an Irish, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
From an Irish perspective.
To me, that's like having your babies at the end of the night to have that kind of energy to it.
Yeah, it does.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's very, it's really,
It is.
How much is the bottle there in the cost? Yeah. I didn't look it up yet.
99.
99, is it?
10-year-old single cask strength.
Because Mike, bourbon needs to be minimum 51%
Corn.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're almost there, Mike.
It is. Yeah. It's the whole package kind of thing. Yeah. I don't think that's, yeah. I think stay away from water on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. You can get a side by side without ruining yours. Yeah. What do you think?
So we're getting a lesson here.
Oh.
When I bought it last year
Okay.
at Corkscrew, I said it's a bourbon identifying as an Irish whiskey. And that's why I bought it. So I was like, if
Okay.
you would have told me what it was, I'd be like, oh, it's delicious Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
And I bought 2 bottles. And I'm like, I took them home. 'Cause I was-
Maybe a fuller Irish whiskey at least.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was like, oh, it's still like, it wasn't a bourbon to me.
Okay.
Because I'm not a huge bourbon drinker. But
See, I'm going to
I really
convert you.
like that.
I'm going to convert you.
It's nice to just- it's a fruit.
There is, yeah. That's the 21% rye, so it's a nice balance. It's super sweet, but it has that balance of the rye. Yeah, yeah,
That's why I bought bottles last year.
yeah. Nice. Thank you very much.
And that's why when I knew
And the maltiness as well. The maltiness adds from the Irish cask on this. This is just one of those well-rounded from start to finish. I think that's why they gravitated to it.
The smallest percentage because it's very strong.
The malt itself.
The fact that it's always the smallest percentage. Right?
Yeah, yeah. It's used very small in the U.S. The malt, the corn, because they want the sweetness of the bourbon. That's what it's known for. So the higher corn is part, but they like the rye spice.
But in an Irish or a Scottish whiskey, that could be a very high number.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, most of the time it is much higher. It is mostly malted barley or roasted malted barley. This one has a little bit more malt to it because it's finished in an Irish whiskey cask. So that pulls some of that maltiness into it as well. Yeah.
And that's what.
Yeah.
So we have a question from online. What would be your minimum in terms of bottle numbers for any release?
So how many liters, how many bottles needs to come out of a cask as a minimum for you to?
I don't really have a minimum because the cask itself is I don't know what it yields until it's dumped for bottling. I've dumped cask where it yielded 60 bottles, and it's called a short barrel. And the thing with with these casks is you don't know what it contains. So being a single barrel, until you dump it for bottling, you don't know how many it's going to yield. So I can't really say I have to have 150 bottles out of this.
So when you taste it, you're just getting a taste and you're not finding out,
No.
this will give you...
No, I don't know the yields on it whatsoever when I actually taste it.
You don't even know by how far you're reaching it.
I can see it on the Whiskey Thief. I can kind of see the liquid on the Whiskey Thief. But it's not really something I really pay attention to.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It won't be coming through on the recording. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't really have a minimum that I can say it has to have 150 because I don't know what the liter quantity is when I actually pick the casks themselves. I wish I had a better answer for that, but I just don't.
Sounds like fingers.
What is that?
Alarm from the car.
It's a car. I don't see any cars.
Yeah, but sometimes like the car doesn't click, just like at the alarm.
Oh, okay.
So given the diversity that you have, you have your personal favorites. Where are they?
That's almost an impossible question as well. It is to like pick like my favorite bourbon or my favorite spirit.
Maybe within the categories. Like different styles.
I think bourbon will always be my love. That will always be my favorite because that's where I come from. So it's very important to me. That's what got me to this stage right here where I'm at today. I've just learned to kind of branch out and experience and love other spirits as well.
Within bourbon.
Yeah.
What are the styles that you really? Because like it's evident to them.
Yeah.
Even relatively small changes in mash bill.
Absolutely. And then if you tried 10 of the same mash bill, those will be distinctly different too. So it's hard to, I tend to like higher corn content mash bills, at least as an overall. But like, again, that second one that we tried today, I really, really like that one too. And that's a lower corn mash bill. So being single cast, that's what you get. You get so many different products coming out of that single cask. So I can't even say I have a favorite mash bill because that screws me up all the time as well.
So folks, our dear leader, no, I'm not a dear leader. I'm just something in for Ali tonight. I will say, I've been seeing messages come in on my phone from some of the members of the society's kind of management team. They've asked me to remind you, there is a trip.
Yes.
To May. If you want to buy tickets, you can buy tickets to that. It's on the website. You can get those tickets. They've also asked me to make sure we say thank you to Mike.
Thank you.
Will we do a tasting by tasting? Which one was your favorite?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
In the room, whiskey number one.
No,
Okay, we'll do rye and bourbon.
Yeah, there you go.
So, of the rye, number one.
I'll put a hand up. Yes.
Okay, number two. Pretty consistent from earlier. Of the rums, number one.
I like it.
Of the bourbons, we've our two. We've our high corn and low corn. Which one? Number one and number two?
I like the two. I like the two. 5 and 6.
So, no, 4 or 5?
Yeah.
4 or 5. 4. So, number 4.
4. Okay, I'm gonna go 4.
Okay, number 5?
5.
Okay. Now we've got our wheated bourbon and our corkscrew cruiser. Number 7. Number 6, sorry, number 6.
The weeded
I got 7.
High preference for the. And then we have
for the corkscrew.
for the corkscrew versus number 5. The 5.
I go for number 5. I go number 5.
And the corkscrew. I think the corkscrew are.
Corkscrew.
They must know Irish palates.
Ask them, where's the rum in all of this?
Okay, actually, yeah. In the rums, who has it in the top half?
The rum.
The rum. Of the top half of today's tasting.
That's great.
That's pretty good.
That's big.
Who has it as the best?
I have a number 4.
1, 2,
Number
3,
four.
4.
Wow. At a whiskey tasting, that's pretty good.
We have got the Irish.
That's a great lead in for your next event, yeah.
I'll just give it. Look, fantastic.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you all. Yeah.
The man from the Whistle Stop Tour of Ireland. We might be able to get him back in the future for something else, but right now, fantastic whiskies, fantastic bourbons, fantastic ryes, fantastic rums, in a variety of stores, which you can try out here. I really love the as you said, the care and like you knew all these things. Like you said, oh, this one likes water, this one doesn't like water. You knew them, which shows, as you said, it's not a money-making project; it's a passion project.
Yeah.
That's what we love here. That's what we love to see. That's what we love to support.
Thank you.
So fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you to go out and spend your hard-earned money.
Why not?
Do it.
As you said, you have your whiskeys you like. If you want to have a chat with Mike, have a chat with Mike.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You might be able to ask him what his favourite Irish whiskey brand is off camera. See you next month.
Thank you.
Everything is open at the Corkscrew. So if you wanted to go in and try anything again, it's all open there. All the rums are open, so you can try those too. I highly recommend the Trinidad and the Haiti rum. Try those. They're all there. They'll be happy to give you a free sample of them. Bring sandwich. Bring a sandwich. You can eat there too, because they are cask strength. You might need a sandwich.
So the Guyana one is also like all the rum.